2.5 minutes too long. We have to cut out 2.5 minutes of dialogue. Rob Reiner was light years ahead of everyone with what to do. He would say, all right, everybody go to page 2. You see Edith and Archie's lines at the bottom of that page. You can cut it. You won't miss them. It doesn't ruin a joke. Okay, go ahead.
And perhaps would never be said.
Forever etched in the annals
Amid
of
the
television
rapid
history,
headlines and the
rose to
mechanical
fame in a
recitation
way
of his
few
filmography,
actors ever
Sally
experienced.
Struthers
From
spoke
her
in a markedly
breakthrough
different,
role
but
on All
someone
in the
who had
Family,
grown up
where she
alongside
captured
him.
the hearts of millions
What truly
as the
unsettled the
earnest,
public,
often
however, was
naive
not what
Gloria
Sally
Stivic.
said,
Sally
but
became
what she
an
did not
icon
say.
of her generation.
She
A
implied
figure
that
whose talent, charisma, and persistence could not be ignored. Yet, behind the bright lights of Hollywood and the laughter of sitcom audiences lay a story far more complex, intertwined with both triumph and struggle. It was in this world that she encountered
Because he told
Rob
the world
Reiner,
that it was
an
his show that he
equally towering
created.
figure in
But
entertainment.
it was Carol
whose career would
O'Connor,
span
who saw it in
acting,
England,
directing,
Carol
and
O'Connor,
producing,
who played Archie
leaving
Bunker,
a legacy few
and Carol
could
came
rival.
home and got
Their
together with a
paths
friend of
crossed
his who was
multiple
a
times in
full-fledged
the
writer,
industry's most pivotal moments.
and said,
And over the decades, their interactions became a reflection
About
of
endurance,
Hollywood's shifting
fear,
culture,
and
its ambitions,
unconditional love
and its
tested
silent battles.
again and again.
Rob Reiner,
Quick,
already known
friends
for
of
his
the
sharp
Reiner
wit
family
and
described
commanding
him-
presence in front of the camera, soon revealed himself to be more than an actor. His foray into directing transformed him into a storyteller of rare empathy and depth, someone who could capture the human condition with both humor and gravitas. Films like This Is Spinal Tap showcased his genius for comedy, while The Princess Bride and When Harry Met Sally confirmed his versatility.
In the
and
years
intuition
following,
as a
Struthers
director.
appeared in a number
Yet
of
his
other television
professional
shows and
brilliance did
films,
not shield
including
him
Gilmore
from the
Girls
pressures
and Still
scrutiny
Standing.
that
Most
accompanied
recently,
fame.
she appeared in
The
2
same
episodes
Hollywood
of the
that
sitcom
celebrated his
Marin in the
successes
role of Shirley.
also
Continuously,
magnified his
but was
challenges,
barely mentioned
and it
in
was
the
in
press.
navigating these
No scandals
waters
to
that he
keep
formed
attention alive.
complex
No
relationships
major
with
roles to
colleagues,
fuel
friends,
a
and
comeback.
collaborators, among
Only a
whom
steady
Sally Struthers held a unique place. Sally, meanwhile, balanced her career with an unwavering commitment to advocacy, using her platform to support causes ranging from hunger relief to children's rights. Her work with organizations like Christian
The
Children's
chemistry
Fund
between
earned her
Struthers
praise
and Reiner
beyond
was
Hollywood,
palpable, and their
painting a
on-screen
portrait of
dynamic
an artist
contributed
deeply
significantly to the
engaged with
show's
world's
success.
larger struggles.
Off-screen, they developed
This
a close
duality,
friendship. They
star
spent a
power on
considerable
screen
amount of
and
time together,
humanitarian
both on
influence
set and
off
in their
it,
personal lives.
mirrored Reiner's own layered
No,
identity,
this is X17
and it was
online,
this
but we sell all
alignment
the
that
TV
made
shows.
their encounters both
No, I meant
professionally
DMZ,
fruitful and
demilitarized zone.
personally
Yeah.
nuanced.
Hey, what about
In
your deal on
interviews,
South Park?
Sally
How'd you like
often
protect
reflected
his
on the
other children
respect she
from
held
being
for Reiner's
overshadowed
craft,
by crisis?
describing him as
He
a
made
man who
deliberate
combined
efforts to
intellect,
maintain
humor, and
normalcy,
an almost
family
relentless
dinners.
pursuit of excellence, qualities she herself strove to embody in her own career. Their interactions were not always simple or predictable. Hollywood, with its glimmering exterior, often concealed a web of tensions, rivalries, and
powerful
power dynamics.
director, or a
Sally's
symbol
journey,
of
though
humanistic
successful,
cinema.
was punctuated by
They did not
moments
walk
of
onto the
uncertainty,
set as
professional
stars.
setbacks,
They walked
and the
in as
constant
children who had
negotiation
just
of her
left their
image in a
families,
male-dominated
thrown
industry.
headfirst into an environment
Rob, too,
where
faced
personal
pressures that
Even
came with
during periods of
expectation and
sobriety,
fame, the
there was
weight of
always the
producing
sense that
culturally
recovery
resonant
could be
works
fragile,
while
that
managing both
stability
creative
could
ambition
sharpen his
and public
understanding
scrutiny.
of human
In this
vulnerability.
context, their
Was that empathy
conversations,
always
shared
there,
projects,
or
and
did it
fleeting
grow out of
collaborations
years spent
gained
fighting for
layers
his
of meaning,
family?
representing
Believers
not just
say it was
professional
both.
courtesy, but a mutual understanding of what it took to survive and thrive in a demanding environment. Over the years, their careers would diverge and converge in fascinating ways. Sally ventured into television films and advocacy work, always seeking
everyday
roles that
conflict.
reflected both her talent
Acting
and her
did not
conscience,
arrive as a
while
glittering
Rob expanded
dream,
his
but as an
directorial
escape,
portfolio,
a way to
taking
speak the
risks
things
that
that
would
real
cement
life
his
never
reputation
asked
as
her
one
to
of the
say.
most
Never tried to
influential
hide.
figures in
While
modern
the
American
world saw
cinema.
the confident
Yet
director
through it
behind
all, their
Stand By
professional
Me
respect
and When Harry Met
persisted,
Sally.
grounded in an understanding that the industry demanded more than skill. It demanded resilience, integrity, and a willingness to face both applause and criticism with equal grace. Their dynamic was not of constant collaboration, but of an
Part had to
enduring
carve out
awareness
its own
of each other's
space beneath the
strengths,
enormous
struggles,
shadow
and
of the
contributions
past.
to the entertainment
From the late
landscape.
1970s onward,
Fans of All
Sally
in the
appeared
Family
steadily
and the
on
films of
television
Reiner
in
often
films such as
speculate about the
Those
untold
closest to him
stories
saw
behind the
something
scenes,
far more
the discussions,
complex. A
disagreements,
father
and
locked
shared
in a
laughter that never reached the public eye. Sally, in her reflections, has often spoken about the value of observing and learning from colleagues who navigate success with both ambition and humility. Reiner, a figure deeply aware of
An
cinematic
individual
history
convicted
and
of
technique,
intentional
often
homicide
inspired
is
those
barred
around
from
him to
inheriting
push
from the victim.
boundaries, to consider
However,
narrative
until a final
structures
verdict
and
is
character
reached,
motivations
the estate
more
remains
deeply
in
than they
legal
might have
suspension
otherwise.
and may be used
This
to meet
interplay
legal
between
obligations.
observation,
Is how
learning,
deeply
and
Rob
shared
Reiner stayed
experience
engaged.
underscores the
Several
subtle yet
acquaintances recall
profound
him
ways
speaking-
in which Hollywood legends influence one another beyond the lens of fame. The personal dimensions of their relationship, though never sensationalized, provide insight into a broader narrative about mentorship, collaboration, and the human need for connection amidst professional chaos.
And why was the woman who
Sally
had been
has
closest
recounted
to him
moments
since his
of quiet
earliest years
encouragement,
the one to draw the
advice on
firmest
navigating
boundary
the
of
treacherous
silence?
waters of fame,
The answer
and
does not lie
conversations
in
that
his
blended
death.
humor with
Crushing weight
hard-earned
of
wisdom.
expectation.
These
And the people who
interactions,
knew
while
that say the
private,
real story
illuminate
was
the
never
often
about
overlooked networks of support that exist behind the red carpet and cameras, a testament to the fact that even in an industry characterized by competition, genuine camaraderie and mutual respect persist. As the years passed, both
Murder,
Sally and
with
Rob
aggravating
confronted
factors
their own
including the use of a
evolving
knife
identities in
and the
public
killing
life.
of multiple
Sally's
victims.
advocacy and
Under
continued
California
acting work
treatment.
reflected a commitment
Media
to
reports
using
noted
fame
that on presented
responsibly,
as proof
to
of
ensuring
guilt,
that her platform
but became
served
part of the
causes
broader
larger than
context
herself.
that both
Rob's
prosecution
directorial
and
pursuits,
defense sensitive
meanwhile,
legal
engaged
issue
with
emerged
storytelling
soon
that
afterward.
explored human relationships, societal pressures, and emotional complexity, mirroring, in some ways, the very qualities Sally championed in her off-screen life. Their journeys, though distinct, shared a thematic resonance, a belief in the power of narrative,
When All in the Family ended,
importance of
Sally
integrity,
Struthers
and
did
the
not
value
vanish,
of learning
but
from
she was no
peers who
longer standing at the
challenge and
center of
inspire.
American television
The
as
enduring
the girl who
fascination
came
with their
gift-wrapped,
connection
a
lies
gun
not in
in the
scandal
house,
or
2
controversy,
weeks in
but
another
in the
town,
richness of
along with
shared
new
experience.
productions such as Grease,
Observers
Chicago,
note that true
Annie, and
insight into
Wally's
Hollywood
Cafe.
is rarely found
Not as a
in
television
tabloids
icon,
or gossip columns.
but as a
It
theater,
is found
Sally
in the
entered an
nuanced
entirely
accounts of
different territory.
collaboration, mutual inspiration, and the quiet moments that shape artistic expression. Sally and Rob exemplify this truth. Their relationship, viewed through this lens, becomes a study in the ways that professionals in the entertainment industry influence one
The
another's
death of
work,
Rob Reiner did not
ethics,
send
and approach to
shockwaves in the way
storytelling,
Hollywood has
even
grown
when their
accustomed
paths
to.
intersect only
There was no
occasionally.
unified moment
In
of
recounting
begin as
these
a
narratives,
choice.
it is
began
essential
when
to
both of them were
appreciate
too
the
young to
context in which
understand that
both
early years
individuals
can become a
operated.
burden
Hollywood
carried
is a
for an
world of
entire
extremes,
lifetime.
where the bright
When
glare
all
of
in the
success
phase,
can coexist
no sense
with
of
intense
closure for a
personal
man who
and
spent his
professional
entire
pressures.
life telling stories
Navigating
about
such an environment
dialogue
requires resilience, insight, and a capacity for empathy, qualities both Sally and Rob demonstrated throughout their careers. Their interactions, therefore, are not just anecdotes, they are exemplars of how thoughtful engagement, professional respect,
Nor was she positioned
and a
as a
shared
rising
commitment
star.
to craft can create
But when All in
lasting
the Family
impressions in an
began,
industry
that
often
very lack
defined
of
by
polish
fleeting
became
fame.
an advantage.
Even today,
Gloria needed a
reflecting on
face
their
that wasn't
respective
silence.
legacies provides
Rob
both
Reiner paid a
inspiration
price
and
for
instruction.
protecting others,
Sally
a price
Struthers
that,
continues to
even at
remind
the end of his
audiences
life,
of the
was never
value of
named.
compassion,
She began her acting career in the
persistence, and the ability
1960s
to
with a
find
series of
meaning
minor
beyond
film
the
and
camera
TV
lens.
roles, but it
Rob
was her role
Reiner's
as Gloria in All in the
contributions to
Family
cinema
that made her
endure
a
as
household
benchmarks
name.
of creativity, emotional depth, and storytelling sophistication. Together, their experiences underscore a broader truth that the most meaningful professional relationships in Hollywood are not merely transactional, but are rooted in
Reiner
admiration,
became an
shared
iconic element of
understanding,
television
and the
history,
recognition that
particularly
artistry
during their time
thrives
on
when
All in the
nurtured by
Family.
He
mutual
found a new
respect.
way to exist
In
on
examining
television.
their intertwined
Not
journeys,
through a face that
one
had been
also
fixed in
confronts
place,
the evolution of
but through a
Hollywood
voice,
itself, a landscape
something that was
has
still free.
transformed dramatically over the decades.
Her childhood
shaped by
carried
cultural
little
shifts,
nostalgia.
technological
Her
innovation,
parents divorced
and changing
early,
audience
and her mother raised
expectations.
her under tight
Sally
financial
and Rob
circumstances.
navigated these transitions
Sally
with
grew up in
differing
an
approaches, yet both adapted while maintaining fidelity to their values. Their interactions offer a window into the complexities of sustaining a career in an industry that often prioritizes novelty over experience, offering lessons in perseverance,
bygone
ethical
era of
engagement,
American
and
television.
the quiet power of
While
mentorship.
Sally chose to narrow
Ultimately,
her
the
professional
story of
life
Sally
in order to
Struthers
two
and
moved
Rob
in
Reiner
opposite
is not
directions.
defined by a single
One withdrew
revelation
from the
or
center, the
sensational
other
headline.
shifted
It
position
is
in
defined by
silence.
decades of dedication,
Instead, he turned
artistry,
seriously
and
toward
mutual
directing.
recognition of excellence. It is about the subtle ways in which two talented individuals, each with their own ambitions and ethical frameworks, can intersect to leave lasting imprints on each other's lives and on the cultural fabric of their time.
Moralizing.
Their legacy reminds us that
From
the
there,
true
Rob
narratives of
moved
Hollywood
through a sequence
are
of
written not
films that
only on
never
screen,
repeated
but in
themselves.
the relationships, respect, and shared wisdom that
She
occur
accepted
away
many years
from the
under
public
a
eye.
nameless strain.
And so, as
where
audiences
fatherhood
continue to celebrate the work of Sally Struthers and Rob Reiner, it becomes clear that their connection, professional, respectful, and quietly influential, embodies a richer, more enduring narrative than any fleeting controversy ever could.
Without
it is a
days
testament
off.
to the power of craft,
What followed
the
did not
resilience of
unfold like a
spirit,
cinematic
and the
shock.
enduring human need
There was
for
no
connection,
brings.
mentorship,
That very
and
normalcy
shared
made
purpose,
the reality
even amidst
feel
the glare of
heavier.
fame. In exploring
On
their
December
story,
14th,
one discovers that Hollywood's most compelling tales are often whispered in private conversations, observed in shared laughter on set, or realized in the quiet moments of guidance and inspiration, moments that
silence.
leave an indelible
Rob
mark,
Reiner paid a
shaping
price for
careers,
protecting
legacies,
others,
and the
a price
cultural
that,
imagination
even at
for
the end of his
generations
life,
to come.
was never named.